Hari Om, Namaste, a very warm welcome to day 77 of 108 days of Surya Namaskara or Sun Salutations Challenge. Today in our Yoga Philosophy section, we will learn and introduce about this new term called Samādhi Parinamah, the resultant effect of Samadhi. Of course, Samadhi is not new because it's the eighth limb of Yoga. So it's the resultant effect, the Parinam, the transformation of Samadhi. When is that state attained by a practitioner? We will learn about that in one sutra of third chapter, Vibhuti Padaha of Patanjali's Yogasutras. But please hold on, stay tuned for that. For now, as usual, let's get onto the mat for our physical practice. Let's move our energy, let's move our pranavayu all over the body so we are in the right state of mind to absorb all these gems nuggets. Okay, let's get onto the mat for the Surya Namaskar flow. Come on. day 77 yoga philosophy section. As mentioned at the beginning, we will learn about this newly introduced concept of Samādhi Parināmaḥ. As you can understand, previously we learned about in the last two sutras, the sutra number 9th and 10th of this third chapter of Patanjali Yogasutras, we learned about Nirodha Parinamaḥ, the resultant effect of restraining. Okay, when we are able to suppress the samskar generated thoughts and replace them by the new modifications, that junction, right, of the mind with that new thoughts is the Nirodha Parinamaḥ. Means we have the power of replacing whatever is not working in our mind level, citta level. We have the power to replace them with what works for us. Okay, with some new modifications, new vrittis, new thought processes. So Nirodha Parinamaḥ. Now Samādhi Parināmaḥ, what is this talking about? The resultant effect of being in that absorption state, Samadhi state. The sutra goes like this, 11th sutra, third chapter, Patanjali's Yogasutras. sarvārthataikāgratayoḥ kṣayodayau cittasya samādhipariṇāmaḥ. sarvārthataikāgratayoḥ kṣayodayau cittasya samādhipariṇāmaḥ. Let me break it up. Sarvārthata ekāgratayōḥ kṣayodayau cittasya samādhipariṇāmaḥ. Sarvārthata ekāgratayōḥ kṣayodayau cittasya samādhipariṇāmaḥ. When the mind from being all over the place, sarvārthata, when being distracted all over, being everywhere, from there, when the declination, the diminution of that happens to ekāgratā, to one-pointedness. Okay, when the mind from being all over the place, from that, when the declination, when the diminution of that happens, of that state of being of the mind, to ekāgratā, one-pointedness, right? Then udaya means then arises the state of Samādhi Parināmaḥ. Then arises the resultant state of Samadhi. Am I clear? Sarvārthata ekāgratayoḥ kṣayodayau cittasya samādhipariṇāmaḥ. When from being scattered all over the place, when the mind diminishes that state and transfers its state of being to one-pointedness, yeah, laser sharp, focused, that's when happens the state of complete absorption. Okay, there is a very popular saying that says like this in the positive psychology world, that not only even positive psychology, every spiritual master talks about this focus, concentration, right? For example, Swami Vivekananda, he talked about, I mentioned this in one of the previous episodes, that the difference between one man and the other is in the level of faith and in the level of their concentration. The amount of success is also depending in that amount of focus we can give. That's why there is, in this positive psychology world, in modern days, you can hear, there are two kinds of people that exist in this world. Number one, super focused, super laser focused, super duper charged up and one-pointed, yeah, targeted to the goal. There is one kind of people like that. And the second kind of people are distracted people. So two kinds of people, super duper successful, which means they are super focused, and the second kind of people, distracted ones. So think about these sutras thousands of years back, talking about this resultant effect of samadhi. And we learned in samadhi, what happens is that on your marks, get set, go. On your mark is dharana, yeah, dharana, dhyana, get set, go. Then you become that object of your concentration. When only that concentration remains, not who is concentrating, on what it is being concentrated, just the cetana, just the consciousness remains. That's the state of samadhi. You become one. That kind of level of absorption. Flow is a very mild word in that. In the positive psychology world, the state of flow we talked about, that's more of like sort of like dharana, dhyana, like that. But to be like in the state of samadhi, it's multi-folds more than the condition, than the state of flow that we hear about in modern psychology. So, sarvārthataikāgratayoḥ kṣayodayau cittasya samādhipariṇāmaḥ. So, overall, in summary, this sutra is talking about our laser sharp focus, one-pointedness. Okay, we will move on with sutra number 12 in the 78th session tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining me in this series of 108 day of yoga challenge and being a part of this fascinating gems of this yoga philosophy discussion. Hope you are enjoying and learning at least something, taking away from each of these sessions. Do write me in the comments what you are learning, as I mentioned every single time, because I would love to hear what you are taking away. What is your takeaway? Let me give you a task today, right? At least 1 to 3 takeaways from this particular session. Do the same for the other sessions in this playlist. And I would love to read all of your responses and answer to that to the best of my capabilities. And if you are seeing this face for the first time, do hit that subscribe bell notification icon and the like button. And do not miss any of the videos whenever I post it. Do attend all of these sessions and also share generously with your loved and dear ones. Make them a part of this revolution, a transformation, holistic health and healing transformation also. If you are wondering where you will find the other videos in the playlist, here is the playlist. Watch them and get in touch. Looking forward to hearing from you. Take care. I will see you on 78th session. Hari Om. Bye bye.